Okay, welcome everybody to the webinar. Just give me a heads up that you can hear me, and we're going to get started right away. So just let me know that by type in where you're from. If you'd be kind enough, I'd like to see where everybody's from, and then we're going to get started. I'm assuming you can all see my screens. Okay, thanks Francis, TJ, I see you, and Sander, and Raymond, and Lewis, and Wayne, and everybody that's here. So I want to talk about how news trading has changed. I'm not going to go into all of the things that I do every week. Every week we have a free webinar and it covers educational subjects. And at the beginning of each webinar, I go into what 10-minute trades is, but I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter today because I want to talk about what to do when the traditional setup may not work. And the traditional setup is the breakout trade. So today we'll talk about magnets, trap trades, reversals, continuations using our software. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. Don't forget, it's possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade carefully and just don't trade your mortgage money, especially the first week you start trading. Now, just as a heads up, what we do is we trade a methodology called appointment-based trading, ABT. We use the NinjaTrader platform and we trade futures. So when we talk about trading stock earnings, we have devised a very clever way of trading earnings using futures, okay? We don't trade the actual stock, so keep it in mind. We use the NinjaTrader platform. Our software installs into the platform as if it's part of the platform, and we trade futures. Our most popular setup is a breakout setup. And it's famously called the spike trade. That's what lots of news traders know it as from the old days. A spike trade is a bracket. And all you're doing is bracketing the current price with an order above the current price and an order below the current price. When the news that we're trading, because remember, we're trading appointment-based trading. We're making appointments with the market. We trade on a schedule. We don't sit and watch our charts for hours at a time. We have a weekly schedule, and that's how we trade. And one of the most popular ways that we trade is when we're getting ready to trade a news event. We put an order above the market that we're trading. We put an order below the market that we're trading, and we get pulled into the trade. And of course, I have to show you yesterday's NVIDIA trade because it was a phenomenal breakout trade. And many members that traded in our trade room with us made significant amounts of money. Here's what the trade looked like. So in our trade room, we stream our software setup, our monitor, to our members. And I show a lot of data on the screen when we're getting ready. I show our charts, which is these white charts in the middle. We show our trading view chart, and that was the NVIDIA stock chart. Remember, I'm trading the NQ futures, okay? And then I also show a news feed from Thinkorswim. When the NVIDIA earnings are out, should we not get a move, I might not know when the earnings are out. In this case, you saw I got pulled into the market short. The trade was over in a second, and we had made over $1,100 on that trade. You can see it one more time. It's going to take 30 seconds. What happens is our orders are going to show up on the chart. The NVIDIA earnings come out, and the first thing that happened is the stock went short because initially they said they missed their revenue. But they then eventually came out and said that lots of things were looking positive for the future, and that caused a tremendous bullish move. Our orders on the chart, those X's, the news went short. It hit both my targets. And again, we had over $1,100 in profit. Many members in our trade room also had excellent profits. Let me just show you couple of screenshots because it's important to know that if you trade with us, these opportunities are available. Ray from California, over $1,100, and you can trade in a prop account, you can trade cash. There's lots of different types of accounts that you could trade with us. Ray made over $1,100 on NVIDIA. Doc from Florida, who's also trading in a prop account. Most everybody these days seems to be trading in prop accounts. Not too many people trading cash these days. Doc had a great trade. Let me show you his screenshot. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So Doc had also another type of trade I'm going to show you, an end of the day trade, but Doc's NVIDIA trade, in one of his funded accounts, he made $1,700. And he had a small loss in another account, but that was a sim trade. His funded trade, over $1,700 in profit on NVIDIA. The point is, if you trade with us, learn our methods, there are many great opportunities to trade with us and to profit. Our most popular strategy is the breakout, and that was a breakout. But we have a system, and our system has many different types of ways you can trade. Our software, News Trader software, installs into NinjaTrader. We have reversal trades, continuation trades, trap trades, which is also a special type of reversal, magnet trades, and then we have a type of trade called the reverse manual breakout. I'll show everybody how to set that up as we go on. Our system consists of the weekly schedule, the daily trade reports. Not every event has a daily trade report, but many of them do. So the first thing we start off with is our weekly schedule, of course. And this happens to be our weekly schedule from this week. We had durable goods on Monday, consumer confidence on Monday. We had FOMC meeting minutes, NVIDIA earnings yesterday, the API report, which was also profitable. And then today we had GDP, pending homes, natural gas, crude oil, 7-year auction, and then Marvell and Dell earnings, and an unannounced special trade that we often do in our trade room, the end of the day trade. And that's another type of setup that we teach our members about how to set up. And our software can deal with those types of trades also. The daily, so our system is consisting of the weekly schedule, and you can get that for free by going to our website, www.10minutetrades.com, and just opt in to our video how to find your own free 10-minute trades, and we'll put you on an email list to get our weekly schedule. Then we have our daily trade reports. Daily trade reports, when an event has a report, the day before the event takes place, we send it to our members. So for instance, tomorrow we have a big event. We've got the PCE price index, all right? That's a pretty big daily report. So we send our members a trade setup, and we have a trap trade on this particular event. That's a trade that we expect the event will reverse, and I'll show you a trap trade. But the point is, the daily trade reports are part of our system. We send them out almost every single day. Many of the events we trade get a daily report, and that daily report is sent the day before the event, and it has information on it, the setup, the journal, how the report's been doing over the past 6 or 8 weeks or months, if it's a monthly report, and it helps our members to understand how we're going to trade something, and they will know the day before how that trade's going to go. So it's all part of this system that we have of knowing what you're going to do before you do it. Trading on a schedule, the daily trade report, the other parts of our system, of course, the software, JOBB News Trader software, and then I think the biggest, most important piece besides the software is coming into the trade room. If you don't come into the trade room, first of all, you're going to miss a ton of fantastic trades. And because the markets are so volatile, you don't know when the next tweet is coming. You don't know how you're going to have to modify a setup if that tweet or an announcement does come. The trade room is the place where we put all the pieces together, modify what we need to modify, and then take the trades together. So all part of the same system, 10-minute trades, the pro membership, weekly market schedule, daily market movers, trade room access, and of course the software. How do we find these trades? This is the weekly schedule. I showed you one already. On the weekly schedule, it shows the time of the event, whether or not our trade room will be open for that event. The room opens, column 2, the index we're going to trade, what the risk might be, and whether or not there might be a DMM for that event. The final column, if it says yes, why, there's a DMM for that event. And then we just note when we're streaming on YouTube also. We stream on YouTube 2 or 3 times a week. So our software installs into NinjaTrader, and it allows for multiple setups, magnet trades, reverse continuations. The software is a custom strategy. It's an add-on to NinjaTrader. It has multiple setups. It can automate your trade entries, your targets, your stops. We have trailing stops. We have a feature where, let's say you have multiple positions and you want to move your stop to break even if it hits the first target. So we have a feature called the target one stop move, and you can just simply move your stop automatically to break even. All of this is built into the software, so you don't have to learn a ATM programming language that many platforms have. You don't have to learn it, okay? All you have to do is work with the software, and it's very, very easy to do. So what triggers these appointment-based trades? 3 categories: high impact economic reports, GDP, jobs reports. Those are high economic events. They often trigger fast moving trades. Big company earnings reports. I showed you NVIDIA. NVIDIA was phenomenal yesterday. And then market opens and closes. That's another type of trade that we take in our trade room. Today, I made $580 in about a second on an end of the day trade. We were getting ready for Marvell and Dell, and we put on our end of the day trade. And this is something that many members have been working on and sharing, and we've come up with a great setup. It is right now a breakout, and then after the end of the day trade, you'll notice that we have these buttons on the middle chart: instant long, instant short. If the opportunity arises, we can take a discretionary trade after the end of the day trade. So our software supports the fast moving breakouts, and then what's very important, when you're done with the breakout, there's still very often lots of movement and lots of opportunity. And we have quite a few different ways to take advantage of that extra movement and opportunity. And 2 of the ways are reversals and continuations. For every news event these days, we're now setting up an extra setup, a reversal and a continuation. And when the opportunity arrives, we take those trades. Today, we just took our end of the day. It takes place at a specific time. The NQ, it just blew through both my targets. 800 and sorry, it was a $560 trade, not 800, 560. I'll take it. It was in literally 1 second. That's another type of trade that we teach our members. Market opens, end of the days, an extremely popular way of trading. There are hundreds of triggers that are available for free on the various calendars. We teach our members how to find these trades and how to set up trades events for those news releases. So you might have a breakout trade. You might have a trade. For instance, today we were in the trade room, and let me get our DMM and show you what I'm talking about. So today we were in the trade room, and our daily report for the oil report, it looks kind of lousy. So Chris, I'll get to your question in a second. There is slippage, and everybody, it's so kind of old-fashioned to really worry about slippage. We don't do most of our trading sim. We do most of our trading live, and that NVIDIA trade was live. It wasn't sim. There is slippage. There's positive slippage. There's negative slippage. When a move is big, it overcomes the slippage, and that's the whole idea. You want to trade the events that are going to overcome the slippage. And there are going to be some trades where slippage will ruin a trade. But I'll tell you very honestly, it's not something we spend very much time on anymore. It's something that years ago people worried about way more than they worry about now, because we try to trade the best moving events where the slippage is going to work in our favor just as much as it may work against you, if not more. So the idea is trade events that move in a way that gives you so much positive ticks, it easily overcomes the slippage. So we don't really spend very much time worrying about slippage these days. And the funny thing about prop accounts, they're trading sim trades, and there's less slippage in prop trading. The bigger problem in prop trading is their data feeds are sometimes overloaded and they don't respond well. That's more of a problem with prop trading, that so many people are trading on those accounts that the data feeds are not always keeping up to speed. What I was going to show you today is the oil daily report, because the oil daily report, it has a journal on it. And if you look at the journal, it's got 2 winning trades out of the last 6 weeks. And if we go back 3 months, it's got very few winning trades. So trading a breakout on the oil trade is no longer a recommended way to trade. So we have other better ways to trade the oil setup. We have magnet trades. So let me get into what the magnet trade is. Let me show you a magnet trade with oil. So a magnet trade is a trade where what a magnet is popular levels on the charts, and those levels are looked at by so many people, and people set their orders up around those levels. So those levels create events that can be predicted. The magnets are areas on the chart where we are trading to hit. So the magnet is an exit, and I'll show you a magnet trade. It's going to take place after the oil trade. So right here, we set up a magnet trade. If you notice, there's a red line, okay? There's a red line. That red line is the area that we think is going to get tested when the oil news comes out. And sure as we're sitting here, the oil news comes out, we have an exit set up to exit the trade at the low of the day. The news goes short, it hits our target at the low of the day, and that is a magnet trade. We weren't trading both directions. We had no danger of being filled on the wrong side of the trade. The only danger was not getting filled, or you could sometimes get filled and then it'll reverse before it hits your target. That could happen on any trade. In this particular case, we set up a trade around the magnet, which was the low of the day. Highs of days and lows of days are magnets, and they attract price because so many people are looking at the same areas that we can set up predictable trades around those levels. And every instrument under the sun supports magnets. If you like to trade the NQ supports magnets. If you like to trade gold, well, everybody knows in our trade room we trade so many gold magnets, it's ridiculous. Let me show you a gold magnet. You can also set up your own custom magnets. If you like to trade the VWAP, and we do, we set up the VWAP as a magnet. So when the VWAP gets tested, that's when you exit your trade. So here's a magnet trade. The high of the day is that green line. We set up our trade to enter before we get to the high of the day, and watch what happens. Price goes up, our software pulls us into the trade long. It chops a little bit, almost goes down a little more than we want. Then it goes up, hits the high of day, which is the first magnet, and then you can set it up so it goes through the magnet. You get a double-sized trade. That's a magnet. And like I said, you could set a magnet trade up so it works at the high of the day. You could set a magnet trade so it works at pivots. You can set a magnet trade up so it works at the VWAP. It's very easy to do. Let's say you want to set up a custom magnet trade. Our high of day, low of day magnet trade is really simple. Click on the word strategy. We click on the word magnet. High of day, low of day is automatically the system we trade. We have a proximity control, which I normally set to 5, and then you don't even have to do anything else. The high of day, low of day automatically sets up a one position trade. It exits 3 ticks prior to the magnet. And the way that the magnet trade works is pretty simple. You turn it on. The magnet then calculates how far from the high of day the entry would be, and you can also move your entry. Now, I'm in replay just on random price action from today. So I'm not taking a trade or showing a trade, I'm just showing how the software does it. So when we turn on the magnet trade, we get the ability to be long or short. If I want to enter now, if I think the market is shooting in my direction, I could just press the enter now trade, and boom, I'm automatically in the trade, and I can look for an early entry or an earlier entry than what my thicker line would allow. So there's all sorts of different ways that we can take the magnet, but the main thing is the high of day, low of day magnet. Obviously, it's going to trade for the high of day to be your exit. But let's say you love trading the VWAP and you want to trade the VWAP. It would be short from where we are now. So you could trade the magnet custom indicator setup. So instead of choosing high of day, low of day, we would choose custom level. Then all you do is look at what the VWAP level is. It's 21726. So I type that in. Okay, I could leave everything alone just because I'm going to just show you how this works. Turn on the magnet, turn it on. It's going to put the order on the magnet, all right? We said the VWAP was our magnet, but remember, that's our exit. If price goes down, I want to get filled before I get to the VWAP. So I move that order because that line is actually my entry. And then should price go down, it would fill me short and it would exit wherever my targets are set to because it's custom. So your targets could be custom, your entry is custom, you can move your entry. It's very easy, very flexible, and one great thing you can do with the magnet is if you press the magnet entry button, the trade will be completely automated. You don't even have to watch the chart. If it gets to the magnet, It will make a sound letting you know that it entered the trade, and you can then manage the trade if you want to, or you could just watch it trade. If you don't leave it on automatic, when it gets to the entry, it makes an audio alert and it turns purple, so you know you've gotten to the magnet. The magnet trade has become one of our most popular setups. Another tremendously popular setup. Let's say again, so remember, we were looking at a daily report that was not performing well. Sometimes a daily report shows us that you don't want to take a breakout. You might want to just wait for the news to come out and then take a reversal or a continuation after the news. So, for instance, we have lots of natural gas trades. Now, it just so happens natural gas is trading pretty well right now, but we have a setup, and it's very easy to do. I'll just show you a video of it first. It's called a reverse continuation. And all it is it puts a button on our chart. And if you see a level that you think might get tested, we had a natural gas report that came out. The news was bearish for price. So we put on a reverse continuation. In this case, it was a short trade because we were testing the low of the day. I pressed the instant short button. It put me in the trade. Watch what happened. Price went against me a little bit, but ultimately we had the direction right and it made a profit. It hit my target. There was actually an opportunity for another discretionary trade, instant short to the short side. And watch, influenced by the magnet of the low of day, the short goes through the low of day for another easy winner. Very easy to set up a reversal or a continuation in our software, literally in a moment. I'm going to speed up today's data just because like I said, we're using playback just to show you the market because the market is getting ready to close now and it's very quiet. So let's say, for instance, you see the market moving and you want to take a long and you might want to scalp. We can use a reversal or a continuation as a scalp trade. I just right click on the word strategy, double click news trader software, click on reverse continuation. It's defaulting to 2 targets. I've got a stop. It automatically sets to break even. I can apply it. The only thing I have to make sure is that it's on the account that we're trading on. I'm trading on playback. When I turn on a reverse continuation, it gives me 2 buttons, instant long and instant short. Those buttons are tied to the setup. The setup, very simply, that I have was 2 positions, 1 contract at each position, a 15 tick target 1, a 40 tick target 2 with a 25 tick stop, and I was on the NQ. I could have traded the NQ or the MNQ. Now, if I thought the market was bullish, I could take an instant long. If I thought the market was bearish, I could take an instant short. So here's an instant short. I'm not saying this trade's going to work because, again, this is just showing you how easy it was to set up the trade. That one didn't work, but again, let's say my first trade didn't work and I want to put on another one. Just uncheck the enabled box and I could take another trade by pressing the button instant long. Now I know, that I'm not trying to show winning or losing trades. I'm just trying to show you how easy it is to put on a scalp. Now the market's moving up. As we got towards the end of the day, the market got a little bit more bullish, and that's when we actually took our end of the day trade. So look, you're in the market, you're in the trade room. Now you think, hey, I think this market might be bullish. You could expand your stop. You could expand your second target. If you're right about the direction, watch what happens. It's going to hit my first target. It automatically moved my stop almost to break even. And then the price pulled back, but that was a winning trade because it hit my first target. Very easy to put scalp trades on, to put reversal trades on, end of the day trades, and also many other types. Let me go back to my slides just for a minute. So, like we were saying, there are also reversal continuations, magnets, scalps, earnings trades. You can trade in a prop account. So after the breakout, also, when the breakout works, very often you can use these same setups. These same setups, like for instance, we traded a recent jobs report, and we actually got stopped out on the original jobs report, the breakout. And after the breakout, we took a reverse continuation setup with full size gold. We played to the high of the day because the jobs report was very bullish, and that allowed us to make more than we lost on the breakout back because we have this opportunity now to take all of these extra trades, extra setups. Also, they are much less influenced by slippage. To address some of Chris's worries about trading news events, when you trade right after the news, your slippage is pretty much out of the trade because, yes, the markets could still be very fast, but you don't have that breakout explosion that you have to worry about slippage at all. So it's just another great way to trade events, and this was a beautiful long trade after the breakout. Bingo. It was for over $500 trading full size gold. It was an excellent, excellent winning trade. So after the breakout, there are many, many different setups. The reversal continuation. Now let's talk for a minute about the trap trade. The trap trade is not necessarily, however, after the breakout. The trap trade, let me just backtrack because I cut off a couple of things that I just wanted to say. After the breakout, you've got the reversal continuation, you've got magnet trades, you've got scalp trades. Those are the main types of trading you could do after the breakout. When the DMM, when the daily trade report says, hey, wait a minute, the breakout may not be the right setup, what if you have an event that when you study it, it reverses very similarly all the time? Well, then we have a setup called the trap trade setup. The trap trade is when we expect the event we're trading to do a controlled reversal. And we teach our members how to set up what we call spike sheets. So we have an FOMC, which is one of my favorite trades to show. The FOMC is a trap trade. We actually have two setups for the FOMC. We have an NQ breakout, and then below it, we have an ES trap trade. The ES trap trade, we realized when we started testing it, we had over a year and a half of winning tests on the FOMC statement trap trade. So we started making that the main way that we're trading the FOMC statement. What the trap trade does is it tells you where to put your orders, but what we're going to do is we put our orders, and we put two orders above the current price, two orders below the current price. If the market goes up, we sell the market. If the market goes down, we buy the market. So it's a very controlled reversal trade. When we study an event, we then create a spike sheet. A spike sheet looks at every recent trade that the particular event had. So for instance, the FOMC statement, it has a spike sheet. Let me see if I could find the exact spike sheet for the FOMC. I had other sheets, but I have a spike sheet. So it's a little bit hard to see, but what it shows is what the explosion was on the move, and it shows how much the reversal was. And it goes every session that there was an FOMC event. So the idea is we can set up our orders based on how much movement there was every time there was an FOMC statement and the news is released. That's what we call the spike. But we might spend a minute, at least a minute sometimes, looking at that spike and seeing how large it grows. And then we create this sheet that tells us what our brackets should be, how many ticks. And the FOMC trade has been a significant winner because we don't trade so much using, you know, Fibonacci's or Elliott wave or EMAs even. We trade studying the way an event moves. How many ticks did it move? Did it reverse every single time? Did it reverse 80% of the time? Because we know nothing does something every single time. But the FOMC is a reversal trade. Here's one of our recent FOMCs. Now, watch two different things. We have a trap trade on the left. In the middle, you're going to see we're going to trade a second trade, the reversal continuation. So watch. Left trade is a trap. Two orders above this arrow, which is the current price, two orders below that arrow. If the price goes up, we're going short. Watch what happens. The price shoots up, puts me in the market short. It does a very huge instant reversal, over $500 in profit before you can blink an eye. And the trade continues down, hits all my targets, and it was a dramatic winning trap trade, a reversal. Then we noticed we were leaning to the downside because that's what the market was telling us. That's the news we were also hearing in our headset. We subscribed to certain news websites to help us during our trading. And we wanted to take another second trade using our reversal continuation setup to the downside. That trade was full size NQ. We entered short. We're able to immediately get our stop to safety. So we immediately were up over 200. And now we were able to trail our stop towards the low. And it was such a good short, we were able to expand our target and keep trailing. That's like the perfect reversal continuation. When the trade was over, we were able to net on one contract. It was over an $800 trade. That was live on our real prop account in the trade room in front of all our members. And the key is we teach our members how to create the spike sheet, how to do your testing. I've given many webinars that if you go to our website and join our YouTube channel, you can watch all of the recent webinars we've given, how to set up trap trades, how to create spike sheets. They're all open to the public. You don't have to become a member to get so much of our knowledge. And that's the beauty of the trap trade. When we study an event that we feel reverses on a regular basis, we set up a trap trade for that event. And they work really well. We can scalp. I showed you how to easily set up a scalp. I showed you how to easily set up reversals and continuations. I want to show you one more setup. Now, it's the exact opposite of a breakout trade. Sometimes what happens is you'll go into the market, right? We'll go into our trade room and you'll see levels on the chart that maybe will tell you, you know what, I think the market's been pretty choppy today. What if it pops to the high and does a reversal? So you could set up an opposite breakout trade. Now, this isn't going to show you the trade taking place, but it's going to show you the concept of any time you go into a market and instead of breaking out, you want to do a reversal at any level you want. This is called the reverse manual breakout. Now, one thing about our software, we've tried to simplify it and make it easier to use. So when you right-click your chart and click the word strategy, our software is, like I said, it's built into Ninja Trader, and it at the very top, trade type, you click that little arrow, and it shows you the three most popular trade types that we use the most often: range trades, reverse continuations, and the breakout. If you press this little advanced trade type button and then press the arrow, there's a ton of other setups. Trap squeezes, market opens, the manual reverse breakout. So if we choose the manual reverse breakout, what we can do is, instead of doing just a regular breakout using a bracket, we can use a level. And the manual reverse breakout shows levels on the chart where if you type in that level, that's where the trade is going to reverse. All right? So, manual reverse breakout has two levels that you're going to just type in: the level above and the level below. So let's say the high of the day is one area where I want to reverse. So that price is 21833. And let's say if the price went to the VWAP, I would want to go long. So I'd put that into my bottom level, 21717, and I can apply the trade. What I'm going to do is make the time 0 so that the trade will actually trigger. But we have targets, a position, number of positions. You just type in position number 1. If you want 2 contracts, you just type the number 2. But there are defaults, so I can just leave everything alone. We're just looking at where our levels are. Because keep in mind, we got into the room and we thought to ourselves, maybe we want to take a trade that reverses at certain levels. Now, before I do this, I want to just show you one other thing. When you turn on a manual reverse, now you know what the problem is? The markets are so slow now. They're really, really slow. What normally will happen is you'll get a line at the order, the level where you're going to reverse, and a line where you're going to go long. So if you come into the market and you want to set up the manual reversal, all you have to do is, if I want to reverse at the high of the day, I look at that level and I type it in, 21833. And if I want to go long, 21730, I type that level in, apply it, okay it, and if the trade were to trigger, it would put me in the market short if the price exploded up to the high of the day. It'll sell that. If it explodes down to the VWAP, it'll put me in the market long. That's called the manual reverse breakout. You can do it as a timed trade, so you could put in the time you want that trade to take place, and you can use any level on the chart. So it could be used with any indicator that you like to use, any level that you like to practice trading, or any level that you trade with real money that you think is a level that reverses. The manual reverse breakout is a very controlled reversal trade that you can choose the levels. So, any questions before I get to an offer that I'd like to make everybody? Any questions? So just to recap, we have all these really great setups that work after the breakout. If the breakout isn't the chosen method for reasons, maybe the event is not performing well as a breakout, we have trap trade reversal setups. All different ways you could now trade the news. It's not just let's trade a spike and see how spike trading works. And it's just so many different opportunities now. So if you'd like to join us for all of our upcoming news and earnings trades, magnet trade rooms, use our software, get access, receive our daily market trading reports for a month. This is all for 30 days. It's thousands of dollars of value. You can get our trade room subscription. Everything that we offer for pro membership, we're going to offer you so you could practice the reversals, practice continuations, learn how to use our software, spend the time in our trade room learning how to find these events, learning how to use the trap trade. It's really thousands of dollars in value. Trade in a prop account, trade with cash. Our 10-minute trade full pro membership 30-day trial for $20.25, www.gopro25.com. This offer, we're going to cancel it and take it down on Sunday. So it's a fantastic opportunity. $20.25. It's ridiculous. To learn all about the ways that we trade, www.gopro25.com. We're going to expire Sunday at midnight. You get the News Trader software, Magnet Trade. You'll learn all about appointment-based trading. Choose the events you want to trade by looking at our schedule, earnings trade rooms, selected stock earnings. Of course, like I said, trading on a schedule. I'll guide you step by step in our trade room. It's a 30-day pro membership for just $20.25, www.gopro25.com. Easy as pie to join. You get the Magnet Trade, live news trading room, News Trader software, and you get a teacher. I really care. I really try to teach everyone how to do this as well as possible. It's just $20.25, www.gopro25.com. You get everything that we said. So join us, folks. We'd love to see you in the trade room. We've got some good earnings coming up. Broadcom is coming up. We just finished NVIDIA. You saw our NVIDIA trade. It was awesome. Do we build the software? Does someone we work with? We have a programmer that we use. Chris, do it ourselves. We design it ourselves, and then he takes our designs and builds them for us. That's how we've developed our software. It's been a labor of love that I've probably been the person that's been building the software since I got here. When I first got here, the only setup we had was the breakout and a simpler trap trade than what we have now. And we've added all these extra setups because we realized we needed much more sophisticated trading, to take advantage of the news. And these days, we're doing a lot more reversal continuations and trap trades because that's what's been great for these volatile markets. So definitely join us, folks. It's only $20.25. What do you got to lose? Spend a month with us, learn all about news trading, how to find these trades, how to keep yourself safe during the news, and just go www.gopro25.com and you can get access to our software. Absolutely, you can sim trade, you can use prop accounts. Absolutely. How many members normally? I'd say anywhere between 20 and 30 on an average day, Chris. We're not like a gigantic company. That's probably our average, between 20 and 40 at a time. And it's a lot of people sharing their setups. It's really a nice community of people. We have a lot of really good people these days. And we're getting ready for a lot of exciting, there's always exciting new things coming up. All right, everyone, www.gopro25.com. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you in the trade room. Thanks for joining the webinar, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone.